What is up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, as you can see by the title, we are going to be testing out a fake James Charles palette. I bought this on Wish because I've got to say I have a slight addiction to Wish. I kind of spend hours on there just scrolling through all the weird and wonderful things that they sell on there. And I came across the fake James Charles palette and I was like, this would make such a good video because I already own the actual real one. And now I can test the fake one and see if it's anywhere near as good as the real one. This video is of course not to promote fake makeup, but obviously the James Charles Artistry Palette has been continuously selling out, so I feel like this is like a viable option for people to buy this, which is kind of scary. I mean, I would never ever recommend for you guys to buy fake makeup off of Wish. However, I did it for your entertainment, so you guys don't have to. In case you guys missed it, I have done the real testing video of the real James Charles Artistry Palette a couple of months back, so if you guys haven't seen it already, I'll link it in the eye up there and also in the description. If you guys are brand new here, make sure you guys subscribe, come and join the dinosaur family. I would love to have you here. And also don't forget to follow me on my social media at Roxxsaurus on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. But if you guys want to see the fake James Charles palette, then let's get on into the video. Okay, so first things first, if you guys don't know what the James Charles Artistry palette looks like originally, this is it. It's basically like a matte black sort of finish with a reflective logo on it, and this is what it looks like on the inside. There are so many beautiful colors. Literally everything you'd ever need pretty much is in this palette. When I used this, I had a very good experience. I loved the blend of all the shades. They were very pigmented and very vibrant. So I definitely had no issues with any of the shades, and I'm really kind of worried about trying the fake one. So unfortunately, I do not have the outer packaging for this, but this is the photo of what it looks like. I did bin it because I didn't really need it. And compared to the original packaging, this is what has arrived from Wish. And I mean, when you first look at it, it looks pretty legit. So I'm looking at the original packaging on my phone and oh my god, it literally looks so legit. Like, the only difference there is the fact that this image is a lot worse quality. Also, the image of James Charles is like kind of more here and a lot bigger and obviously sharper, and this one just kind of looks like it's been printed in like a household sort of printer. I'm not gonna lie. They've even put the back of it on. Like, they've put the whole "Hi sisters, James Charles here and welcome back to my palette." Oh my god, they copied everything. I've got to say, I haven't actually opened this, so I don't know if they've even replicated the inner packaging the same. It's looking promising. Oh my god. Dude, that is so close. I feel like if someone asked me which one's the real one, I would not know at all. Okay, so upon looking up closer at the palette, I definitely can tell the difference. This cardboard that the palette is made out of is a lot nicer quality. This one kind of has like a texture to it. With the actual logo itself, the real one has kind of like a handwritten pen sort of effect, especially you can see it on the J and the C, whereas this one is just like all over the same sort of effect and texture, if that makes any sense. And also the Morphe logo on the fake one is a lot higher than the real one, as you can see here. Okay, it's now time to actually open this palette and see if it's anything like the real one inside. So let's open it together. Oh my god, okay. Let me just look at the real one again. So this is the fake one and this is the real one. What the heck? Literally, they look identical. Okay, so looking up close, I can see that a lot of the shadows have kind of like cracked out. It's made a mess all over the palette. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that. Okay, so I'm just gonna compare the two palettes. The top one is the fake and the bottom one is the real. So the first row looks pretty good. There's some minor sort of differences, such as the pigmentation of the orange shades, this one and this one. And then the gold shadow on the real one is a lot more bronze, and here it's a lot more like champagne-y. For the next row again, these shades are not exactly the same. For example, the original one has a red, like a really, really vibrant red. However, on this palette, it's a little bit more like burnt orange. The bigger pans on this palette, such as these middle ones, are pretty much exactly the same. There's some differences in like the sort of depth of shade again. The second to bottom row is a little bit different again. This obviously is the original yellow. However, this is a a little bit more mustard. The two blues are pretty close. This blue is matte on the original palette and this one's a shimmer. Okay, this is really weird, but this shade right here is kind of like a purpley pink, whereas the shade on this palette is like a pale peach sort of color, which is kind of weird. Now the bottom row is pretty close, I would say, and the original palette has a very, very vibrant green. However, this one's a little bit more like a emerald green and it's a shimmer instead of a matte. I feel like when you first look at the palettes, they look very, you know, similar. It's not exactly the same, obviously, but I think we can still create a look on both sides to really compare the quality of both of these palettes against each other. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take these two palettes and I'm gonna basically put them up against each other and see if the fake one is anything like the real one, if it's anywhere as good. So we're just gonna try and create the same look with both of these palettes on two different eyes. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna take the real James Charles palette and I'm gonna jump straight into this look. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm going straight for skip. This is the pink shadow from this palette, which is probably like the most controversial shade from this palette because apparently it stained people's eyes, which it never did for me, but I'm gonna go for that one. So I'm just gonna take that on a fluffy brush. I'm gonna use two different brushes for two different eyes just to make this test super fair. And I'm just going to lightly buff that through the crease as a transition color for this look. As you can see right off the bat, this shade is so pigmented. You barely need any shadow at all. I honestly have no idea what I'm gonna do for this look, by the way, so I'm just kind of winging it. And now I'm gonna take the same shade but from the fake James Charles palette, again on a big fluffy brush just like the previous one. I'm gonna have to proper swirl this around in the pan because like nothing is being picked up. Okay, so I'm literally just gonna do the exact same thing. Also, excuse the brush, it's super like wide and spread out because I just washed it. I don't know what's happened with it. If anyone knows how to fix brushes like this, holler down below. Anyways, I'm gonna try and blend this through the crease just as I did with the other eye. I'm gonna try this brush instead. It's a little bit better in shape and I'm gonna try and layer up that color just to try and get the same sort of pigmentation as the other eye. And I mean, that doesn't look that bad, to be honest. It doesn't apply as nicely, but the pigmentation is there and the color is very similar. Now returning back to the original James Charles palette, I'm gonna use this shade, which is called Single, and I'm gonna basically try and deepen up this look and kind of blend it into the outer corner of my eye. And I'm just going to buff that in the outer corner like so and kind of also blend it into the crease. That is hella pigmented. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that blend. I'm now gonna move on to the other eye and try and replicate the same thing with the fake shade. So now I'm taking the same shade from the fake palette and I'm just going to, again, buff that through the outer corner to try and deepen up the look. Okay, the shadow isn't amazingly pigmented, but it's definitely there, so it's definitely a lot more than I expected. To be honest, I don't know how safe this palette even is to be using on my eyeballs. I'm always really weary when it comes to testing like Wish makeup and just fake products in general because the product listing and ingredients isn't exactly necessarily correct. So that's definitely kind of terrifying to me, but that still doesn't stop me from filming these videos for you guys. I love putting my face in danger so you guys don't have to. Okay, so far the shadow's blending out pretty well. It's not exactly the same in color. As you can see, this purple is a lot darker than this one. This kind of still has like a pinky undertone, whereas this one is like a dark purple sort of shade. Okay, what I really want to do now is dip in to the blues of this palette. So this is the original James Charles palette. Once again, I really wanted to use the vibrant blue from this palette, which is this one. However, in the fake one, it's not a matte, it's a shimmer. So I feel like that would be too different and it just wouldn't look right. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take this color right here, which is also blue, and I'm just going to blend that on my lower lash line of my right eye where we're creating the original James Charles palette look. So the shade Brother is a super true navy kind of color, and it's not exactly what I would have loved for this look. I would have loved the other blue color for the waterline, but we're just gonna work with it. I'm gonna lighten it up just a tad with the white shade from the real James Charles palette and kind of just apply that over the top to kind of just, you know, lift it up a little bit so it's not so dark. And I'm now going to do the same thing with the fake James Charles palette. I'm going to take the same shade, which is meant to be that navy blue, and I'm going to run this along my lower lash line. Oh my god. There is literally nothing happening. I mean, is kind of there, but it's like nowhere near as vibrant as the real one. Jesus Christ, that is so depressing. That shade is literally nothing like the real one at all. I mean, they got the color right, but it's the depth and like the actual vibrancy, it's just not really there. I had to layer it up so many times. I would say that looks pretty close now, but that was like one layer and this is like 10. Okay, do you know what? I've made up my mind. I am actually going to use this blue color, even though they're not exactly the same formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the real James Charles palette first, and I'm just going to blend this very subtly across the inner sort of crease, because I kind of want to add that blue in there as well. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. We're just gonna experiment, guys. This is turning out cool. I like this. I mean, it's a little bit different for me. I don't usually wear blue on my eyes, but I'm digging it. I'm now gonna do the same thing, but with the shimmery sort of color from the fake palette and see how that turns out. Oh no, I've made a mistake. Oh no. This looks so different, but damn, that blue looks nice. That is like a really vibrant, shimmery blue. Oh my God, what have I done? I mean, it doesn't look... Who am I kidding? It looks awful. I'm now going to take the shade Hello from the original James Charles palette, and I'm going to try and add a little bit of shimmer to this side, because I feel like it looks very flat compared to this sort of shimmery blue. So I'm just taking that on a little pencil brush and I'm going to apply that into the innermost part of the eye. I'm also going to do the same with the fake James Charles palette. I don't feel like this shadow is as pigmented on the fake one. Now the last part to finish off this eye look is of course the center part of my lid. So for this I'm going to use the shade Artistry from the real James Charles palette. This is a very shimmery sort of purple color, and although they look very different on either palette, I'm just gonna go for it and see if I can make it look somewhat the same. I'm just gonna go in and apply that to the center of the lid with just my finger. I'm actually really happy with this eye look. I did something a little bit different I usually wouldn't do, and it's turned out pretty sick. I've just cleaned my finger and I'm gonna do the same thing with this shadow. So I'm just picking it up on my finger and then I'm gonna apply it straight to my eyelid. That's actually pretty close. Wow, here I was thinking this is gonna look so bad and so different, but it actually looks pretty similar. Oh, one last thing, I'm gonna add a little bit of inner corner highlight with this shadow right here, which is called Ring Light. So I'm just gonna apply that to the inner corner of my right eye. And lastly, I'm gonna do the same thing with the fake palette shade and apply that to my left eye. This inner corner highlight is like more vibrant than this one, and this is the fake side. That's so weird. So now that my eyeshadow look is finished, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some eyeliner and lashes, and I'll be right back. So lashes and eyeliner are on. I have to say, now that I finished this look, it actually looks so identical on both of the eyes. If I didn't do this makeup, I would not be able to tell which side is the original palette and which one is the fake. I feel like we definitely had some difficulties with matching the shades to the original palette, because the fake palette, although it's very similar, the shades actually do vary quite a bit compared to the original shades. But I feel like all in all, the eyeshadow looks very similar on both sides. I mean, this side is obviously always going to wear a lot better. It's going to be more pigmented and more creamy because it is the real product. You know, you're paying like 40 something pounds for it. However, I only paid 15 pounds with shipping for the fake one. So my verdict on the fake versus real James Charles palette, I have to say, annoyingly enough, I actually quite liked the fake one. It definitely didn't exactly match the colors and the quality of the original palette, but in its own right, I still think it's a pretty good palette. It performed pretty well. The only thing I just don't feel good about is the fact that it's a fake rip-off palette off of the real Morphe x James Charles one. Obviously, James and Morphe put a lot of time and effort into the original palette, so I feel like for someone just to come along and rip it off completely is quite bad. But if I'm gonna judge it fairly, I have to be honest, I do think it's an okay palette. It's not the worst I've ever tried. However, I do not recommend you guys buy it because still, we have no idea what the ingredients are. They could be totally, oh my God, I thought that said bleach. It said beach. I thought it said bleach on the back. Oh my God. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend to buy fake makeup off of the internet because you never know what could be inside. That is all for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this little testing fake Wish sort of makeup. I always love doing these videos because I know some of you guys may be intrigued and may be thinking about buying these things off of Wish, and I don't want you guys to waste your money, so I will happily test it out for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that huge thumbs up just down below. Don't forget to subscribe and come and join join the dinosaur family. But that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! Mwah.